What's going on, guys? TKD 123 video, and today we're going to talk about a brand new album that we reviewed this week. Now, of course, this is not the usual setup for my album reviews. Usually this is the setup for when I do my music news videos every week, but you know, we can blame a lot of things here. I'm going to choose not to blame myself and choose to blame the battery on the microphone. We'll just leave it at that, guys. So we're diving into a new artist here that you know, I did not have a lot of exposure to, right? So I probably, I'm pretty sure I heard this man on a feature, on like an album, whatever. But I have not listened to one of his full entire self-made projects and everything. And I have one downloaded on my phone. I just never listened to it. I don't know why. But we're gonna go over Vic Mensa's The Autobiography. Now, of course, this album here, just going over the logistics of it, is 15 songs in exactly 1 hour. So a pretty nice size album here. You know, one say it's too long, one say it's too short. It's kind of like the nice sweet spot where it's just at an hour and it's great to kind of digest and can, just like quickly to consume, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not too big, it's not too small, it's that nice middle spot that I like personally, an hour. And then even talking about some features here, I haven't pulled up here as well on my screen. We have, features like Weezer, we have Sid, we have Chief Keef, which is a pretty strong one as well, Joey Burp, which is someone that I never heard of before personally. Then we got Pharrell Williams, those are some pretty heavy hitters right there as well, along with Ty Dolla $ign, Pusha T. Like, there are plenty of really great tracks here on this album that have pretty good features as well. You know what I'm saying? It's not the best features list, not anything crazy, but for what it is a very good features list, I'd say so myself. It's very good in features wise. Now, going into my overall kind of thesis of how I felt about this album, right? I would say that for the most part this album is very good, right? And there are grievances, there are gripes that people have, whether it be just Vic Mensa's sound, how he sounds, how he kind of portrays stuff that we can go over. But from my perspective here, this is a very good album, I'd say. There's a lot of storytelling here that I adore and I loved. There's a lot of interesting instrumentals and stuff like that, and different verses that are really cool. Overall, I feel like this just definitely is a great album. So one of the really cool things that I found with this album is that there is a lot of times there's a mixture of old sounds versus a new school sound, right? Like, it is very prominent with the first track, the intro into this whole entire album, and we have some lady vocals in the back that sound very just from a different time, sound like a little bit from the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever you want to say, but it definitely does sound like an older style fashion to it, right? There we go. It's just different points in the like this whole thing where there are just so different instrumentals that you would not find on a regular album that came out this year, I'd say. So definitely there are some good points for me personally on that front, where there are definitely really cool things happening with the instrumentals. They have a nice dichotomy with each other. There's a very nice play right there, so definitely do enjoy that. Not even stopping at the instrumentals, it's mainly also kind of the premise of the songs as well sometimes. Like with track 4, we have Homewrecker, and in this track, he's talking about how he got caught, cheating with his girlfriend, right? Like, he was at his apartment, he got caught cheating, the girlfriend walks in, stuff like that, and like he describes her as a homewrecker, right? Not in the way that he's a homewrecker, but in the way that she is, where she's wrecking the house, she's breaking stuff, what I'm saying? Like, she's trying to find you where this chick is and everything. Like, it is an interesting song like that, where there's really cool cues to it, what I'm saying? And then right after that, we have one of the strong performances in this whole entire album, which is Heaven on Earth, where he goes into really deep detail about how he committed one of the worst crimes ever, which is kind of he was tipped off because he needed money, right? So he was tipped off by this girl to go after this guy that had a lot of illegal materials, let's say, in the back of his trunk. And so he goes after him, everything. There's a whole story, there's a whole dialogue, like just between them two. And then at the end of it, he ends up killing the man, right? Now, apologies for spoilers, I'm saying, but that is just a little look at like that's a real story, as what Vic Mensa says, right? Like, that really happened, okay? So having that and just having that breadth of having this album that has a lot of personal stories to it, a lot of first-hand accounts, is something that I feel is a little bit, underutilized a lot of times in music right now, where we have a lot of people that are just playing it safe, a lot of people that are just, rapping about kind of like what we envision and what, what we kind of want to hear in music, right? But here, you might not necessarily want to hear about, a man literally killing another man. You might not want to hear about, just relationship troubles that he's having with his girlfriend and everything. You might not want to hear that, but here, here, he gives it to you, and I feel like that is an element of personality just in the individual that is super, super cool, man. And I feel like that is really left out in a lot of albums as of late. I feel like that is something that, you know, I kind of been yearning for, right? Because that is a little bit of an old school style, like with J. Cole. He does that a ton, you know. He's, you know, just raps about personal stories and everything like that. Like we all know, you know, J. Cole is one of those great storytellers and everything. But, you know, with Vic Mensa, he's a great storyteller, and at that, he's even personal about stuff that you wouldn't expect to be personal about, which is a breath of fresh air for me personally. And then, you know, I think personally my favorite song of this whole thing was Wings. Honestly, I feel like Wings was just a great track, you know, and just in the sense of that it really does hook. You know what I'm saying? Like, hooks to you. The instrumental is really, really interesting. It's really cool and everything. I overall like that track. Probably, you know, one of the top ones, right? Of course, there are really good ones, you know, like Heaven on Earth, what I just talked about, and Homewrecker, and the first track and everything. But I've got to even mention track 2, right? Memories on 47th. That right there is doubling down and, you know, showing, you know, the listener that, hey, yo, I'm gonna talk about some of my memories. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna talk about, you know, stuff that I've been through. And he really does, you know, in this whole entire album. Like, he really does. So that is definitely, you know, another sign that, you know, he did double down on this, and he's really, you know, showing kind of his true colors here with this album. Is definitely is appreciative, you know, at least on my end, things. Definitely do like that testament to things. And I think a feature I forgot to mention was The Dream is on here. The Dream is on Heaven on Earth. Great feature as well. Obviously, you know, The Dream kills it every time. And then at the end of the album concludes in a loose sense. We can go on about that, but like it kind of concludes low-key with the track We Could Be Free featuring Ty Dolla $ign, right? And this one is really showing the definite, you know, kind of post your flag where you stand, you know what I'm saying, die on this hill type of mentality that like Vic Mensa at least showed here with this one track, right? Where it's a little bit like as if, you know, this track was straight up taken off of All American Badass by Joey Badass, right? Where it's that, you know, song that talks about political differences, talks about being black in America and everything like that, and it's one of those polarizing kind of, you know, really, really good political songs. So definitely do like that song as well. And I like how it kind of wrapped it up, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't anything that felt repeated, you know, like it wasn't the album, it wasn't anything that, you know, that's kind of a bad way of putting it, because like, you know, you can have things that tie back to the original album, but there's a lot of times where it sounds like a, you know, something that's repeated rather than something that kind of ties the loop together, right? And so I feel that this one is not trying to do any of those things, but it's just a nice way to end it on a more diverse note, on a nice, you know, kind of ending cap that is a little bit different than the entire album. And then we go into the 2 bonus tracks of the album here. Rage, I feel, is a little bit better than Oh My God. I feel Oh My God, you know, with Pusha T, was so just like bland also to me. I didn't like that at all, really. Rage is a little bit better. It wasn't the best one in opinion, but hey, there are bonus tracks for a reason. They were not intended to really be on the album, so they are bonus tracks, and that's why they are called bonus tracks. So overall, how I feel about this? Now, I feel that this is definitely worth the stream, definitely worth the listen, and definitely I feel, you know, you could argue really warrant, you know, just it really does warrant a purchase. Like overall, I feel like this whole entire, you know, album was very, very good. It was a nice little kind of diverse road from what, you know, I am, you know, about to listen to, and like things that, you know, I've been listening to over the past few weeks and stuff like that. But you know, I will say that, you know, there was a overwhelming, you know, sense of a lot of people, at least that I've talked to, right, that like either they love Vic Mensa or they hate Vic Mensa, right? And me, you know, just with me, you know, just like with this being my first kind of true listen through of the album from his, I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised in that manner. I definitely did enjoy Vic Mensa's album here. Now, you may not, right? And there are reasons for it. Some people say the sound, some people say, you know, just a bunch of different things. But overall, at least from my perspective, you know, just because of me, on my, you know, review, I definitely did enjoy Vic Mensa's performance here on the Autobiography. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and share down below. I appreciate you guys giving me. Thanks for watching, and as always, I got you.